Hey there! I thought it'd be fun to do one of those tag videos, so I decided to do a cosplay tag. I looked up some questions and I will put those questions in the description box below. First question: what got you into cosplay? So it's kind of funny, I've actually always loved dressing up in costumes. Any opportunity I've ever gotten to dress in costume, I took it. But I didn't really realize that cosplay was something I could do. Went to conventions with my family for years, saw people in costumes, got pictures taken with people in costumes, and it just never occurred to me that that was something I could do. It was actually after I graduated college that I decided I'm gonna cosplay. The first time I actually cosplayed, I, for some reason, still was under the impression that if you were going to cosplay, you had to enter a cosplay contest. So my first time cosplaying was also my first time entering a cosplay contest. But after that, somehow it finally got through to me that you can just cosplay for fun. So basically, the realization that I could cosplay just for fun is what got me into cosplay. How long have you been cosplaying? So I want to say that I've been cosplaying for sort of 3 years. The reason I say sort of 3 years is that I completed and wore my first cosplay in June of 2015, and then I think I might have worn that costume a couple more times, but I didn't make any more cosplays, or didn't really cosplay the rest of that year. And then the next year, my second cosplay actually completed as a Halloween costume the following year. And then it wasn't until the next year that I really started to kind of pick up and start cosplaying. How many cosplays have you done? So I currently have 4 completed cosplays. I have Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. I have Anna from Frozen. I have Rogue from X-Men. And I have Naoto from Persona 4. How do you get your costumes? So I make my costumes. And that doesn't mean that every single piece of it was 100% made from scratch, but that may entail pieces of it being made from scratch, and pieces purchased, and pieces thrifted, and then altered. So for instance, with my Jill Valentine cosplay, my hat was purchased already with the patch on it. My harness was actually made from scratch. And then my pants were thrifted khaki pants dyed the correct shade of blue that I wanted. What was your first cosplay? My first cosplay was Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. What is your favorite cosplay? I think my favorite cosplay that I have right now that I've done is Rogue. I just feel like super cool hero whenever I wear it, and it's fun. What is your favorite thing about cosplay? I think my favorite thing about cosplay is just bringing this character to life and seeing people's reactions and like seeing people get excited about seeing a character they love in real life. Do you have any cosplay pet peeves? I've been working on it, but I did recently find out that apparently it bothers me when someone's wearing a wig and like the wig is like up here and you can see so much of their natural hair sticking out, and it's like they just like gently set the wig on top of their head, like they didn't even try to make it look like it was their hair. And I know it's okay and it's not a big deal, but for some reason that just bothers me. What is your most recent cosplay? So the most recent cosplay I've finished is Naoto from Persona 4. What character have you cosplayed that is most similar to you? I guess as far as like physical attributes, the character that would be closest to me would be Jill Valentine. Some of my friends though at one point told me I was Anna. I'm not saying that I super duper connect with Anna, but saying that somebody said it, so. What are your cosplay plans for the rest of the year? Okay, so I'm super excited going forward. I'm currently working on trying to finish up some edits, kind of improvements I have for my rogue costume. But then I'm going to get started on my first ever armor build, and I'm just really, really excited to get that done and wear it. What is the dream cosplay that might just happen? So I don't really think that often about like dream cosplays, but a while back I was thinking it'd be really cool to be a flame atronach from Skyrim, and I know that that's something I don't currently really have the knowledge, skills, or materials to complete at this time. But one day maybe. What is something cosplay related that you will never do? So personally, for me, I don't really like sexy cosplays. Like, I don't want to show that much skin. And so a sexy cosplay is something I will never do. Hey there, something went wrong here, so I'm gonna do the next question via voiceover. Who is your cosplay idol? Zon Zombie is like my absolute hero. She's just super awesome. Okay, now back to the normal video. Do you belong to any cosplay groups? If so, what are they? Nope. What events have you cosplayed to? Okay, so in addition to going to some conventions, I have cosplayed for a dyslexia reading event. I've cosplayed to model for a drawing class on multiple occasions, cosplayed for a reading event at an elementary school, a Christmas event, and birthday parties. Have you won any cosplay awards? Yes, kinda. So it was a sort of small convention that's still kind of building up. But I went and they had already kind of given out, you know, first, second, and third. And then they said they were giving out honorable mentions. And I got an honorable mention for my Anna cosplay, and it made me really happy, and I was super honored to get the honorable mention. Have you worn cosplay in a regular situation? Yes, I have worn my cosplay. This past Halloween, I wore my robe costume to work, and the year before on Halloween, I wore my Anna costume to work. Other than that, I've gone out to eat in the middle of a convention or after an event, or I actually also went to the grocery store after an event, and I was still in my cosplay. What is your most expensive cosplay? So I hadn't actually sat down and budgeted like any of my costumes until the one that I am kind of starting right now. And I thought it was going to be my most expensive one until I looked back at my rogue cosplay. And part of why that one ended up being my most expensive one so far is there were a few things that I was learning, and so I had to get more materials in that, and something didn't work, so I had to buy things, fix things, and I just ordered more fabric than I actually needed, so my rogue has been my most expensive costume so far. What is your most comfortable cosplay and most uncomfortable cosplay? That's kind of a tough one because I try to be as comfortable as I can in my cosplays, and they're, for the most part, very comfortable. I think overall, my Jill Valentine might be my most comfortable. I have combat boots for that, and I have definitely broken them in, and so the whole thing overall is pretty comfortable. My most uncomfortable at the moment might either be my rogue costume or my Naoto. Naoto because it does kind of have heels, not crazy heels, but the hat, it's kind of tight and the elastic, so I have to put on my wig and then I have to put on my hat over that, and so it kind of gives me a headache if I wear it for a super long time. And rogue, I say maybe uncomfortable because the heels, after a long day, my feet do hurt. And another thing is getting in and out of it. I have the zipper in the back and I have to kind of twist my arm in this weird way to sort of zip and unzip it to get out, and my shoulder sort of pops out of place. What is the cosplay you put the most effort into? So far, I have to say the one that I've put the most effort into is my rogue costume, and it just had a lot of first for me. I had help. My mom wrapped my leg in saran wrap and tape and then cut me out of it so that I could create a pattern to make sort of permanent boot covers. And that's the first time I had done anything like that. And I had to make things a few times on certain items to be happy with it, and learning new techniques, and just a lot of effort has gone into that one. Do you have any unfinished costumes, and will you ever finish them? As I mentioned earlier, my rogue costume, I'm currently working on updating a few things, so that's sort of in a state of being unfinished. And then I am about to start a costume, so I guess you could say it's unfinished, but it's kind of not started, so basically, yes, I will finish them. I'm working on it. How many wigs do you own, and which one is your favorite? So I have 8 wigs and 3 wig pieces. I have a bang piece, and then I have these 2 kind of braided bun pieces. My current favorite wig is actually this wig that I got for Naoto. It's funny because I didn't really like this wig when I first got it, and then I put on makeup and fixed my eyebrows to match it, and now I think it's really cool. Where do you work on your cosplays, and where do you store them when they're done? So it kind of depends on what I'm doing on the cosplay, of where I'm going to work on it. So a lot of things I end up working on my dining room table. That's kind of my art and craft space. If I'm sewing, I'm of course working at my sewing machine. Certain small projects I will actually kind of work on at my computer desk while my husband and I watch shows. And then certain things I need to be in a well-ventilated area, so I go work on that outside. So where do you store them when you're done? 2 of my costumes I am able to kind of hang most of it and store in my closet. And then 2 of the costumes I have kind of in drawers. So I have this like 3-tier plastic drawer thing, and one has my wigs in it, one has a majority of my Jill Valentine costume in it, and one has a majority of my rogue costume in it. My Jill Valentine boots I actually wear quite a bit, just daily use, so those are in my closet. And then my Naoto costume, I have most of it hung up on a hanger and in my closet. The hat I keep just with my regular hats. And then Anna, like I said, most of it is hung up in my closet on one hanger. Except for the boots, of course, they're just in my closet. Last question. What's something you want to improve on for future cosplays? I'd kind of like to improve on everything, but I guess if I had to pick one area, I like to get better at sewing. That is something I'm still fairly new to in general. And then I'm wanting to make an armor set, so I don't really have any experience in that, so I guess anything is improvement. So yeah, that was my 26 questions for the cosplay tag. Like I said, I'm going to list them in the description box below if you'd also like to try. And thank you again for watching. Bye!